there's a framework called the G.R.O.W model by Sir John Whitmore. In his book called Coaching Performance, John Whitmore has clearly demonstrated a very simple, easy, there are many coaching models out there, but one of the universal model that is highly regarded is this called Coaching for Performance. And he wrote a book called the same title, Coaching for Performance, Growing People, Performance and Purpose. It's gone to the 4th edition, 2009, which is the current edition. My advice is that please get a copy. If you're serious about implementing managerial coaching or corporate coaching as part of your organization development intervention within your organization, use this model. It's highly effective. The G.R.O.W model is very simple. The book explaining, but I published an article where I make reference to the G.R.O.W model, called, as I mentioned earlier, creating a coaching culture. In that article, I mentioned about the G.R.O.W model, how you can use it, an example. So let me give you an example using the G.R.O.W model. You have a staff who come to you, say, look, I cannot finish my work. I'm sorry, my deadline, most likely I will not be able to meet within the deadline. I got so many things on my plate. Boss, help me. Or I don't know what to do. Or I don't think I can do additional tasks that you want me to do, which is critical. I know it's critical, but I cannot do it. So assuming you are the manager, you sit down with the employee, looking at the G.R.O.W model, there's a series of questions you need to ask. Start with G. The G.R.O.W model, G stands for goal, R stands for current reality, O for options or to remove the obstacle, W the will forward to implement. In this example that I just gave you, your staff who are facing multiple deadlines, too many tasks at hand. So first thing, you call in the person, let's have a chat, let's sit down. The purpose of this discussion is to be able to understand what are the challenges you're facing, and I understand that you have mentioned that you have multiple deadlines, you'll not be able to accomplish these new tasks that I've given you. So I'd like to have a chat with you and let me help you to better understand your situation. So that's the goal. So you set the context of the discussion so the employee clearly understand why are you having that discussion? What is the purpose of the discussion? So there's no ambiguity. Second, we talk about current reality. So where is the employee now? So ask the question. So tell me, what are your major challenges? Where are you now in terms of completing the other deadline? What are the tasks that you are actually embarking now? What are the frustrations and challenges that you're facing? What is holding you back? What is it that you're not able to accomplish? So through a series of questions, your role is to understand the challenge that the individual employee faces. What are some of the difficulties that you need to work with the person to help them to resolve? So once you understand the context, understand the situation, move to the third stage called option. The question you need to ask them, so now tell me, based on what you know, what will you need to do differently? What are the options available? How will you be able to resolve this issue of time management? So get them to share, get them to openly suggest, you can encourage them. Think about your past experience, think about what you have done. What would you do differently? Okay, how would you manage your time more effectively? So get them to share. Now, there will be time. Remember, the role of coaching is to more inquiry, less advocacy. I mean, more asking, less telling, or you don't tell them. But there will be instances, there will be time. Many coaches will tell you, no, coaching, you cannot tell them what to do. That's fallacy, because there will be time when you are talking about young employee or inexperienced employee, or you're talking about even an experienced colleague or staff. They get stuck at times. They get come to a stage where, look, I don't know what to do, boss. I tried everything. So you can suggest, what do you think? But you don't tell them, but you can suggest, what about doing this? What do you think if you will try to perhaps reassign some of your workload? Maybe you'd like to delegate some of your workload to other colleagues. What do you think? But you don't tell them, you can suggest to them, but the decision is up to them to accept, because at the end of the day, it's about them being accountable. As I said earlier, the goal of managerial coaching is about getting the employee to be accountable, responsible, take action by themselves to be able to resolve the challenges, the difficulty that they face. So the challenge is the option part. Because to get the employee to come up with different options to resolve the challenge, they will find, some of them find it difficulty. And one of the common things I always hear, boss, that's why I come to you, you used to tell me what to do. And most of my participants tell me, they will say like, it takes so long, boss, just tell me what to do, just tell me how to do it. But that's not the point. The point is not to tell them what to do, even though your situation, your past experience may be similar, but they're not the same. So you need to get the employee to decide, to think, and that's where critical thinking comes in. They need to keep an open mind. They need to ask this question: how do I need to do things differently? How do I need to change the way I do things? What I need to do to resolve this problem at hand. So this ability to get them to reassess themselves, that is a huge challenge. Many of them they are used to having the boss telling them what to do. So you can suggest, if they get stuck, you can suggest, but do not tell them what to do. That defeats the purpose of coaching. Now, once they have identified the options, could be 1, could be 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't know, maybe there are different options. You get them to think about which of these options potentially they would like to choose to start off. Maybe 1 and 2, maybe sometimes could be 1 and 1. They want to implement concurrently. Some of these options work together. So get them to think about and select the options that they want to implement. Once they've identified the options, the action plan, the strategy that they want to implement, the next question you need to ask them: what could go wrong? What are the potential barriers? What would be the challenge that they see in implementing this? For example, one of the options they decided, I need to delegate my tasks to give to 2 of my other colleagues. Okay, that sounds great. So what do you see the potential challenge? And my other colleagues also have their own deadline. So what do you need to do then? What do you need to do? I need probably to spend time to understand and how they can see the importance. I may need you to talk to their bosses to see how they can help. Okay, so you walk through with them, discuss with them, get them to come up with the plan of action. So what support they need from you? That is the eliminating the obstacles and barriers. Then there is to the last stage, the W in the GROW model, which is about the will forward. So now that you identify the options, what to do, when you're going to do it, and the next question is, when are we going to meet up again to see how successful it is? From 0, so from 1 to 10, I'll ask them the scale. So how ready are you to implement this? Are you ready and willing to implement? Probably they'll say, okay, maybe 5 or 7 or 8 depending. So I would say that what would it take to take a 10 where you feel committed, engaged to implement this? I need you to boss, I need you to be with me, I need to support me, I need you to guide me. Okay, fine, what are the things that they need to do? So they must have the desire, the will to implement. Because coaching is about getting them to develop a sense of willingness to stretch themselves, to put this in place in an environment where perhaps they've never done it before. There could be a fear of failure, doubts, self-doubt, and then you need to help them to remove that by getting them to reassure them, encourage them, guide them, motivate them. That is what coaching is all about. So the GROW model, so it's very simple enough, is used in variety of setting, and it should be an everyday conversation when you develop rapport with your team. Remember, I talked about the coaching style of leadership in Mod 2. When I talk about the leadership style, one of the styles is coaching style. So if you do this well, constantly, you create a climate of trust. And this should be an ongoing conversation that you have in your performance management, your day-to-day discussion with your staff. Use this GROW model, and I'm sure you'll find it very useful.